Here, when two or three are gathered, the show goes on. Welcome, Queen Nancy, Queen Sister Nadu, Queen Benny, Queen Julie, Queen Lily Lane, Queen Janet, Queen Jean, and King Linval. I know who he is. It's good to always see. Hello, Dr. Derrick.
Peace, blessings, enough love to you, Queen Julie Pierre, out of St. Lucia,
Yep,
bestest island in the Atlantic.
that's right. That's right, Dr. Derrick. The beautiful island of St. Lucia, one and only.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Greetings to each and every one of us. We welcome you to today's webinar. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful Tuesday evening for some of us, not so much evening. And it's October 29, 2024, and we're starting our deep dive webinar. And it's going to be an awesome one. So we call on each and every one of us who is here live on YouTube or in the future to listen to In It to Win It, a beautiful song that was composed and sung by one of our global ambassadors in the name of Lorato Shadare, In It to Win It, the slogan of Unpassive. Dr. Derrick is going to play that song for us with lovely images. So please pay special attention to the nonverbal communication of In It to Win It. Thank you so much, and over to you, Dr. Derrick.
Your next stop is on passive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Derrick. Can we all believe that we have had 570 plus webinars on Deep Dive from this platform? Yes, we have. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Derrick. And as I suggested that we should pay special attention to the nonverbal communication of in it to win it, from what I saw, the products that were highlighted, there were two products, O-Trim and O-Tracker. And O-Trim is that one product that gives us a special way of personalizing our URL link. And it's been a while, we have to revisit that because I remember playing around with it and it just has fabulous features. Dr. Derrick, we appreciate it and thank you for sharing that with us today. Okay. All right, we're going to move on. Oh, I love the thumbs up. We have been blessed with Deep Dive, and this platform is it's Deep Dive globally changing lives. And this unique person has been running this webinar twice every week, and initially it used to be 3 days a week. Uh, Nothing has ever deterred it from continuing. And we have Dr. Derrick who is behind this. He is the one who is going to share the mindset for today. Just in case we have someone who has never listened to Deep Dive and who is not here on the forum with us, like a Gen Z or the millennials or whatever age group listening to us in the future. Dr. Derrick is an international, inspirational, motivational teacher, not speaker, but teacher because he trains. Guess what? He's from St. Andrew in Jamaica. And from the age of 7, his dream has always been to play around with technology. It does not matter what, anything that has to do with creativity on the artificial intelligence platform. That's what his dreams have always been. And he's never wavered and he's still doing it. How many of us will say we went through that? And that's not all. He has an extensive background in so many things, in so many areas, primary, secondary, and tertiary degrees in a lot of areas. If I have to spend time sharing with you, it will be an understatement. We have seen him in several webinars presenting, sharing, and mentoring. And a lot of us on this platform have been with him. He is that one person who stands from the beginning to the end of every webinar and shares his heart out because he was trained as such. He is here to empower us with a mindset tonight. And we know that the mindset, as far as we recall, our CEO promised to give us the physical, which is what we're looking forward to, and the mental, we work on it on ourselves. Dr. Derrick is going to help us with our mental mindset for tonight. So please, let's welcome Dr. Derrick. Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. Mwah. The microphone is yours.
Oh, mercy. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all the kings and queens in the house. Wonderful. Thank you very much of my fabulous, wonderful host of the most, Queen Debbie McCormick. How is King Jim? Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Nice, nice, nice. And it's glad I am elated to know that you will be on base the entire November. Really appreciate, really appreciate. And thank you very much, Queen Julie. I really appreciate. And First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. Amen, church. Wonderful. And of course, King Carlton and Queen Lily Lane. And however, and all the kings and queens in the house. But however, I just want to personally give my gratitude to King, sorry, no, not King, to Queen Dr. Nadu. Dr. Nadu, no one asked, but she just run with the program, especially in the after party, and has been running with the after party approximately a year now. Oh my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun. Hey, whoa. So I just want to personally, from the bottom of my heart, thank Queen Dr. Nadu. Really appreciate, and unfortunately I thought by now we'll be having the resound, so we can definitely give her the O Connect applause. But unfortunately we only can give the manual one. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie. Definitely the host with the most. Definitely the most beauty, the most charisma, the most everything. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie. And again, thank you very much, Queen Dr. Nadu. Appreciate. And you see, this webinar has really bring out a lot of what we call potential, or from out of people. People have been hiding in the corner, hiding under the bed, and hiding under the table, and hiding in the closet, and hiding in the bathroom, trembling, and all of that. And oh my goodness, we have some great leaders that has been blossoming more and more and more each day. Oh my goodness. If First Lady Queen Dr. Benny remember how she was hiding. Now she's presenting left, right, and center, and top and bottom, and in and out, and oh my goodness, it's just amazing. Queen Julie, oh my goodness, I know Queen Julie have her entire webinar running, so people have evolved, and I mean, if it is for nothing else, Ashmofare and On Passive has really blossomed a lot of leaders, and knowing their potential, their potty, that they really have, because that's what it is all about. It is all about knowing who you are, knowing your self worth. That is what it is all about. That is what this time is all about. Knowing our self worth, and knowing who we are and whose we belong to. Because whether or not you want to believe it, yes or no, whether you want to believe in whatever you want to believe in, whatever you want to believe in, it doesn't matter. We were created, and it's obvious. So whether you want to think that you were created by a big bang, or you want to think that you have evolved over millions and zillions of years, or you want to believe that you came from a loving hand of God, loving hand of a supernatural being that loves us so much, that just want to give us everything that he can give us lovingly, then it's all up to you. It's all up to what you want to believe. But I just want to let you know that without a doubt, my belief is that I come from a loving hand of a supernatural being that we call God. That's just my take on it, based on my knowledge that it's love. We came out of love. And so, because I believe that we came out of love, it is very important that we continue to live in love. Because whether you want to believe it, yes or no, that's again, as I said, it's all up to you. But I believe that I came out of love. And so there's three enemies. There's three enemies of this love relationship that all of us have. All of us. It doesn't matter who you want to believe in. There are three enemies. Enemy number one is who we describe as the devil. He was an anointed cherub, which means he was an angel that used to reside in heaven. And of course, his name is Lucifer when he was an angel in heaven. And Ezekiel 28 kind of help us to understand that this angel was created perfect, perfect in all his ways. Perfect. He was created perfect until iniquity was formed in his heart because of pride. And so, unfortunately, he is now the devil, Satan, if you please, the dragon, whatever you want to call him. He is a person of interest. And so, 1 Peter 5 and verse 8 tell us that we need to be sober. We need to be vigilant because there's an adversary. There is an adversary. There's someone in the universe that doesn't like us, doesn't like God, doesn't like anyone who likes God, doesn't like anyone who want to follow God. And so therefore, he is as a roaring lion that want to devour us. You ever see lion take up knife and fork and eat nice and cute and no. A lion tear and rip and all of that. Right? That's what a lion does. He rips and tears and enjoy himself. That's what a lion does. Okay? And so, therefore, we just want to let you know that John 10 and verse 10 also tell us that there's a thief. The devil is a thief. And he comes in night. And he doesn't come to give you a nice bedtime story. He come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That's what he comes to do. But there is someone else in the universe, fortunately, that want to give us life. And that is God through Jesus Christ. That want to give us life and that we can get this life and live more abundantly. That is the crux of the matter. So, does God want to steal from us? No. God created us in the first place. So God don't want to steal from you. You don't have nothing that God wants. God created everything. So God don't want anything. Does God want to bring demise on you and I? No. But yet still, when anything bad happens, somebody dies, our loving relative, we blame God. When somebody meet any misfortune, we blame God. That's a wrong mindset. Wrong mindset totally. How can you blame someone who wants to give us life and want to give it to us more abundantly? Why we don't put the blame where the blame is supposed to be? To the person who want to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Let us have the right mindset in that respect so that we can understand where we are going. Because if at this stage we don't understand where we are going, then we are already defeated. So, the first enemy is, of course, the devil. The second enemy that we have is, of course, the world. Oh my goodness. Yes, the world. The world is the second enemy, the world that we live in. Because unfortunately, this world has been captivated and engulfed in sin. So this world don't have anything good to offer. And so First John 2 verses 16 and 15 and 16 tells us to love not the world. But unfortunately, that's what we love, because that is what we are seeing, that is what we are touching, that is what we are involved in. We are involved in this world. But as I said, the word of God come to us and tell us, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, and this is all that is in the world, lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. And that is why, oh my goodness, we lust after you know, we neighbor house, we lust after our neighbor car, we lust after our neighbor's money, we lust after the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. Everybody want a big house and big car and 3 car and 5 car and all of these things. That is of the world. Not to say that we're not to live and occupy until he comes. But don't put your love in the world, because the world doesn't have anything to offer us but pain and headache and heartache, which is not of God. God did not create pain. God did not create headache and heartache and all of these things. Although we blame God, but that is not who we are to blame. So, First John 2 and verse 17 says to us, and the world passeth away. The world is going to pass away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. Who really wants to live forever? And this forever is without pain, without suffering, without. That's the mindset we are to have. Live for God so that we can live forever without these illnesses that we are experiencing today. And the final enemy is self. The final enemy is self. 3 enemies: the devil, the world, and now self. Self. We are our worst enemy. When things happen, we blame ourselves, we discourage ourselves, we put down ourselves, we beat up on ourselves. Oh my goodness, we just dump on ourselves. Why? One of the main reasons is because we don't have a good personal relationship with ourselves, first and foremost. And so our self-worth is in the toilet. And so because we don't have a good relationship with ourselves, we always beating up on ourselves and putting down ourselves. And that is why Proverbs 3 verse 5 and 6 tells us, trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not to our own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and let him direct our path. Let God direct our path. Because if we rely on self, we are going to continue staying in the gutter, staying in the toilet, staying in the mess. And so, therefore, these are our three enemies. Enemy number one, the devil. Stop blaming God. Let us blame the devil. Enemy number two, the world. The world has nothing good to offer us. Let us trust in God and ourselves. Let us leave self. Let us lead self and trust in God in everything that we do, in everything that we say. And so, therefore, let us now look at the four I am ideologies that block our blessing. The four I am ideologies that blocks our blessing. Number one, I am what I have. This is how we look at life. If I don't have a good, nice car and a good, wonderful looking house, then I am nothing. I am nobody. I am non-existent. No, let us put aside that ideology because you are not what you have. You are who you are. Because the only thing that we can take with us is our character. And a lot of people not understanding that. I have as rich as Michael Jackson was, and maybe still is, even though I'm gone, as rich as Michael Jackson could not take anything with him. Couldn't. The millions, the big house, the cars, the money. He could not take anything with him. And Job said it correctly. Naked I came into this world, and naked I exit out of this world. Don't have anything to carry with you. Even though you may be rich with money and things, which that is how people value themselves. That is the ideology that people have. If they don't have stuff, and you look into a person's garage today, the garage was supposed to be for the car. Now it is for the stuff that you have to have because you say your neighbor have one. So let us think with a better mindset. Psalms 24 and verse 1. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell in it. So everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to God. All right? So God wants to give us everything. But no, we're trying to run it down for ourselves. I am the next one. Number two, I am my physical beauty. And I hope I can say this without getting into trouble with my queens, you know. But oh my goodness, they spend at least, and this is generally speaking now, please, generally speaking, ladies, we spend too long in front of the mirror trying to titivate and making sure that this is okay and this look good and what have you, not to say not to look good, but you'd have to spend hour and a half, two, to do that, right? Because we are already fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't need to add anything, don't need to subtract anything, don't need to do this and do that, because we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We have already have physical beauty that God has made us with. You don't need to enhance it. Don't need to try to make it better. It is perfect. God said that when he created man on day 6, he said everything was very good. If you look at it, day 1, good. Day 2, good. Day 3, good. Day 4, good. Day 5, good. And after he created man, he said, very good, very good, wonderful creation, mercy, in God's own image. And so, therefore, 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 19, knowing not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. You don't belong to yourself. Stuff is not yourself. Yourself doesn't belong to yourself. Everything that we own is God. God bless us with it. And the only reason he bless us with it is to bless others. That's the only reason. No other reason but to bless others. Number 4, I am my reputation. Oh my goodness. And this is not reputation in terms of the character of God. This is reputation as what people say about you. If people don't say good things about me, oh my goodness, it's like, oh my, why people think that I am this and that or that or the other. Look, even when Christ was on the earth, even when God himself was on the earth, everybody didn't have good things to say about him. So what about you? What about me? Right? Let us not focus. Let us not put our emphasis on the minor things of life. Know who you are. That is it. Know who you are. And that is why Matthew 23 and verse 12 says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Let us humble ourselves. Let us humble ourselves so that we can be exalted by God. Because when God exalts us, we are, we are very exalted. We don't need any more exaltation than that one when we are exalted. So let us let us look for God exaltation instead of man's exaltation. And so the last but not least, the fourth I am is I am what I do. And that is why a lot of people do and do and do and do till them run out of do and them still doing more. I am what I do. You see, a lot of people, try to work themselves to heaven or work themselves in good favor of their friends and family members and work themselves to gain popularity, work themselves to death, trying to please Tom, Dick, and Harry, try to please Mary Jane and Sue. We try to please everybody when you cannot please everybody. There's no way on the planet, not even God himself that came down on earth could please everybody. So why you think out of a clear blue sky you are going to please everybody? It is impossible to please everybody. Okay? So let us understand that the mindset to please everybody is impossible from the get-go. So, 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 31 says, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. Him is who you're to please. Stop trying to please me. Stop trying to please your sister. Stop trying to please your brother. Stop trying to please your friend. Stop trying to please your co-worker. No. The only person you and I need to please is God. That's who we're to please. Please God. Okay? And so these are the 4 I am ideologies that will block our blessings. That will block our blessings. I am what I have. I am my physical beauty. I am my reputation. And of course, I am what I do. Let us recognize that when we have the right mindset, and that is to put ourselves in the hand of someone that is bigger than us, which is the Almighty God, then and only then we will recognize the blessings that He has already poured out upon us. Stop thinking about woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, and think about how blessed I am, how blessed I am, how blessed I am in God who takes care of me. Let us stop trusting in ourselves and trust in the Lord so that you and I can actually enjoy the blessings that we have right now. You see, we are missing the blessing that we have right now because we are looking at woe is me. I thank you very much. Really appreciate your listening ear. And I hope that this mindset will get you on the track to remove ego and step into the sphere of love in God. Because God loves us so much that He gave His only Son so that you and I can believe and trust in Him to have everlasting life. That is the mindset that you and I need to have for this life and for the life to come. I thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And you, kings and queens, have a wonderful day.
Oh, wow. Our teacher has just spoken. Well, Dr. Derrick, I think you are officially the deep dive mindset on a weekly basis until further notice. I, wow, I am what the four I am ideologies that block your blessings. I have to pause there. It's very deep and heavy. You touch on a lot of things there, and it's just straight to the core. There are a lot of people who will listen and are listening who may or may not resonate with all the four ideologies, but they definitely will associate with one, at least one. And not to go on a personal basis, all four are relevant and needed in our lives. So I'm just going to give an open mic to anyone who wants to comment on this awesome mindset from Dr. Derrick about the four I ams. You either comment or, yeah, Queen JW, the best student in the house, one of the very best students in the house. So if you have any comment or question for Dr. Derrick, please, this is the right time to do so. And I see that our darling sister Queen JW's hand is up. Over to you, Queen JW.
Yes, hi, good evening. Good evening to everyone. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. Thank you, Dr. Derrick, most of all, for that amazing and well said presentation. And thanks to all the brand ambassadors who are present and the leaders. Yes, so the three enemies, I mean, you couldn't have said it better because the devil is always at work. And yet we do get caught up in the world. And then we focus on ourselves and not focus on God, and we just lose our, we get lost in the sauce, like they would say. So thanks for bringing those, letting us, getting us to focus on the three enemies that can cause us to lose salvation or even our soul. And then the ideologies that you listed, those 4, I mean, I can relate to each and every one of them, because sometimes, your character, mine is my integrity, I love to be, I don't like to lead people in the wrong way or say the wrong things to them. So your character plays a major role because, like Dr. DrDerrick said, he don't want people to be saying bad things about him, even though people will, like he said, because they did it to Jesus and they will do it to us. And we have to realize that, but that don't mean that we need to do bad things or say bad things and mess up our character. And physical beauty, we are beautiful. We are wonderfully made, like Dr. DrDerrick said, but our beauty is from within each and every one of us. And so maybe we don't need to, we don't have to go overboard. So thanks for that. And reputation plays a major role because your reputation builds your character. So we really need to always be loving and humble and to one another. So that's very important. And also, I am what I do. And some of us, I know I am guilty at times for pleasing people, but I have to turn that somewhat around, even though some of it still exists because it's not like pleasing people, but always there for people. But you got to be very careful not to be a people pleaser. It can harm you more than build you or elevate you to the next level. So thank you so much, Dr. DrDerrick. We appreciate you so much, and we appreciate this platform. And most of all, we appreciate our Heavenly Father and Mr. Ashmafari. Thank you again.
Thank you, Queen JW. Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for always being there, always supporting, and always doing what you do best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Dr. Benny, I see your hand is up. Oh, sorry, that was your virtual hand. I can't see very well.
It's okay. It's okay. I do have something on the chat if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. Please proceed, Dr. Benny. Thank you.
Yes, please. From Horace. Wonderful. So far, my brother, we all want standards, but must be mindful that value is in standard, but no standard in value. It's all our worth. Yes, my God wants my obedience and wants me to worship him. So yes, Dr. DrDerrick, God wants things from us, ourselves. God bless you. And thank you so much, Dr. DrDerrick. That's from Horace. And as for from me, greetings! Greetings, my brothers and sisters, my queens and kings. Good evening. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to my brothers and sisters around the globe. I don't know if you guys are excited. As for me, I am. I'm excited because I'm here today. God allowed me to come and see you guys. I don't know if you guys know the importance of our Heavenly Father. He created all of us in His image. I want to thank God for bringing you and I together this evening. Do you guys know a lot of our people left the war? But God allowed you and I to be here today, this evening. Thank you, Father. And I want to thank God for sending an important individual to you and I. His name is Mr. Ash Mufare. It's because of him that we're here. When you guys have time, please let us just continue to pray for him, his entire family, and our newest tech team. We should also pray for those who are under the weather, like our Robin Nobel, Matthias Asongwe, Augustine, and the rest of the people who are really
Patricia
sick.
Parent.
But Patricia Parent, she needs our help. If you guys have the time, please let's just pray that the Lord should guide and protect them, and the Lord should give them the strength to come back to us, because we all need them. Thank you. I would say thank you so much, Dr. Derrick, for this mindset about the three enemies. Hey, I did not know. I didn't know about the three enemies, Dr. Derrick. Seriously. Good evening and thank you. This is an extraordinary mindset. Knowing that devil, yes, the devil will do anything to convince some of you people to hurt others, the world, and the self. Queen Jacqueline Warner, you said something about the four I am ideologies, or yes, but the number four, I am what I do, right? You make me to understand that you cannot please anybody, right, Dr. Derrick? In fact, there are a lot of people that want us to please them. I don't think I want to please anybody. Now, if you don't like me, that is fine. Because you can just smile. The way you smile, I know you don't like me. But I don't care, because I am D. Benny. I don't care what you say. I will do what I want to do to make myself happy. And that's what I expect everybody to do. Remember that when you die, they will bury you in your own casket, right? Oh, yes, they will. They're not going to bury you and your husband together. No, 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 no. So I want each and everyone to know I will do what I want to do to make myself happy. I'm not going to sit here and please Sister Julie, Queen Julie. I will not please you. I'll please me. Sorry. Thank you so much, Dr. Derrick. I mean, I didn't know you'll be here today, this evening, but your mindset, the way you preach and the way you teach us, you are really a teacher, and I appreciate you. Thank you for this amazing webinar. Queen Debbie.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Thank you so much. All right. At this stage, we're going to move on to another exciting topic for the evening. Dr. Derrick, that was an amazing mindset for the day. So the next one is staying protected, and we know who is going to do that segment for us. Our First Lady, the one and only, Queen Sister Dr. Benny, the First Lady of Unpassive. If you want to know how to stay protected when it comes to artificial intelligence and how to handle all your passwords and all your security issues on the internet, or I should say, uh, cybersecurity, the right person is here with us. Queen Sister Dr. Benny, who none other than her, who is well versed with this topic and has been educating us for over a year on this particular forum. Very highly educated, primary, secondary, and tertiary degrees, certifications in every area of internet you can imagine. Dr. Benny, you are a treasure to Unpassive. We appreciate you and we thank you for educating us on this forum on a regular basis on what you believe is relevant, and it has been helping a lot of us. So today you have another exciting topic and you come uniquely prepared to share and wow us. So please, without further ado, no more accolades because I know you don't like any of that, but it's always good to appreciate you. So I'll let you do what you do best. Dr. Bennett, thank you for always being here to help promote our minds in our cybersecurity area. Over to you, sis. The microphone is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie. A lot of people, they don't know the importance of security. When it comes to security within this company, people don't know that it is important for someone who is a little bit knowledgeable to say something, or maybe to go and do a research of something that I think we all need, to come and express, and it's in a way to express myself. Yes, when it comes to password security. The reason why we talk about the password security is because a lot of us don't really know that if you don't change your password, the hackers are there, they will do anything to steal your data. But today, I'm not talking about password security. I'm talking about least privilege. Sometimes, when it comes to the principle of least privilege, it's an information security concept that gives users like you and I, typically employees, the minimum level of access that they will need to complete their job responsibilities. CISA, to tell you the truth, I used to work with this company, Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency. They recommend using least privilege as cybersecurity best practice. So by allowing users, again, like you and I, only the minimum level of permission or access needed, privileged access to high value data and critical access should be protected. This goes beyond just human users and also applies to what? Connected devices, the systems, the application. Now, requesting access now to complete tasks as well. The principle of least privilege has to allow the right and the minimum amount of access while also enabling employees to complete their job without anyone restriction. Now, this needs to be the balance to keep systems safe and what? Employees productive. So, Queen Debbie, you guys should just give me a minute so I can share my screen. Thank you. I hope this. All right. So, information security is multifaceted, complicated, right? A correction built upon many fundamental principles. The three most important of information security, you have what? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. They call it what? CIA. They also consider the goals of any information security program, supporting what? The principle that helps organizations like OnPassive to achieve these goals is the principle of least privilege. It also addresses the access control and the state that an individual should have only the minimum access privilege necessary to perform a specific task and nothing more. So an employee like OnPassive employees, right? Whose job detail processing, we do have, despite the fact that we have database administrators, we have quality assurance, we have developers, we have human resources. So OnPassive is really a company, right? So this time we talk about like payroll. So an employee whose job entails processing a payroll checks will only have access to that specific function in a payroll application, but will not have administrative access to the customer's database. You understand, right? Similarly, due to their jobs, a marketing specialist does not need access to an employee's salary data, or an entry-level government workers should not have access to top secret documents. And a finance specialist should not be able to edit any application source code because they cannot do it. They're not supposed to. And access is not supposed to be given to them. Most of us are familiar with the concept of restricting access, right? And see or practice variation of these principles in everyday life. Parents use their parental controls on their home devices. Why? In order to restrict children's access to harmful content. Ticket airlines, passengers can board a plane, right? But aren't allowed in the cockpit. Students are they have access to learning system, but not to teachers' grading files. Because if they have access to the teacher's grading files, guess what? A student who had an F will now change that grading, change his or her grade to what? An A. So they're not supposed to have access to the grading files. And a parking attendant with a valet key can park your car, but can't access what? The lug gloves, the box, the console, or the trunk. Now you guys understand. As a principal, least privilege falls under what? Second A in an information security framework, known as AAA, like the triple A's. You have authentication, authorization, and accounting, or accountability. This framework addresses the need to verify the identity of users like you and I, or OnPassive employees, right? Seeking access to a network or other resources, which is what? Authentication. Determine what they are allowed to do. If you are allowed to do something, it means what? Authorization. Then, if I allow you to do something, I need to track what you're doing. So by tracking, it means accounting for what you did, or the accountability. So at the high level, the principle is meant to help organizations like OnPassive or any other company to reduce risk. Risk constitutes what? A specific threat which matches to a specific vulnerability. And when I talk about vulnerability, it means weakness. Now, where both likelihood and impact are evaluated to determine the level of risk to the business, to its people, and to its assets. More specifically, the goal is to reduce what? The potential damage that excessive privilege or their misuse can cause, whether accidentally or what? Intentionally. So when it comes to this least privilege, there are a lot of things that occur at work or wherever you work. So least privilege is sometimes confused, right? But in different form. to similar security principles, need to know, and separation of duties, often used together with least privilege. Need to know provide what? More specific access control based on the needs, right? Now, a sales manager, for example, do not need continuous access. Remember, a sales manager does not need what? Continuous access to their direct reports, personnel, file, but should have access for a limit time to complete each employee's annual performance review. Now, when it comes to separation of duties, it calls for assigning critical tasks to two or more people. So no single individual has the complete control of any actions that could put an organization at risk. This principle might be used, for example, to prevent an account specialist from setting up fake vendor accounts and then paying phony, remember, paying phony invoices against those accounts as a way to steal funds from the company. Like need to know separation of duties is often used in addition to least privilege. So, who and what does least privilege apply to? In practice, the principle of least privilege applies not only to individuals, but also to networks, devices, program, processes, and services. When it comes to access control, all of these consider subject active entities that request access to resources or objects, passive entities that contains or receive information such as the systems, the files, applications, directories, databases, ports, and more. Now, it is critical for organization, and whenever I talk about organization, I also mention our amazing company. To understand that, the principle must apply to all these entities because if compromised, any could potentially put on passive or any other company or its data. When I talk about data, it's the information that we have within this company or any other company at risk. So, what are some examples of least privilege to non-users entity? Hardening. Now, a server by shutting down unnecessary ports and removing unused components is one. Enabling a web application to only retrieve what data and not change or delete is another. So you have authorizing API. What is it? An application programming interface. It is a connection between the computer or between the computer program. It is a type of software interface offering services to other pieces of software to access only a specific data in its rather than all the data in the database is yet another. Yes, we did. We talk about the payroll, right? That a payroll processing clerk who deletes a customer database violates their availability. A market specialist who view employees' salary data violate their confidentiality. Now, a finance specialist who changes the application source code violates what? The integrity. Now, the Open Web Application Security Project is an international non-profit organization dedicated to web application security, right? The Open Web Application Security Project, the core principle is that all of their materials be freely available and easily accessible on their website. Pretty soon, we will all have websites, right? Yes, we are. Making it possible for everyone to improve their web. To improve what? To improve on their web application security. The materials they offer also include what? Documentations, the tools, the videos, forums. You know, it's very important to you and I. When I bring some of these topics, it's because it's important, because you and I, we will be controlling on our own website, right? So what are the benefits? Attack surface refers to all the entry points through which an attacker, you have all these hackers out there, right? They are there. Nobody should fool you. Hackers are out there. So they're called attackers as well. They could potentially gain unauthorized. So unauthorized what? Access to the network. That's what they do. Or systems to extract and enter the data, or to carry out what? Other malicious activities. That's what they do. A broad attack surface is challenging for organizations to defend. So the outcome can be disastrous. For example, attackers happen upon unprotected cloud-based database. Now the application program interface with no authentication control, backdoors, an undocumented way to access what? A system that allows an attacker to bypass typically security controls left in critical software or servers that are wide open to any type of traffic. Any type of traffic. So any of this situation can lead to what? A destructive attacks or significant data breaches, like following recent example, which occur in part due to excessive or non-existent privilege. Now, let me just give you this few. Hopefully, you may understand a little bit. In 2019, this happened to Capital One. It's a bank here in America. Capital One data breach that exposed personal information. Remember, a bank like SunTrust, right? Capital One in 2019, data breach that exposes what? Personal information of 106 million consumers. Consumers like you and I, was due to in a part for a firewall that had been assigned to excessive privilege, allowing it to run commands and access data in cloud-based storage. So it should not have had this access to. In 2019-2020, multiple data breaches exposed personal information of millions of users, and in one case, 1.2 billion users. In all instances, cloud databases are exposed because they had no password protection. Debbie, you talk about the password, right? No password protection or access control of any kind. In 2019 again, the data breach of Indians in India search engine, the company just there exposed personally identifiable information, which is your information, like your credit card, your date of birth, your ID, your driver license. That's what happened in India. Over 100 million users. Now, the breach was attributed to an authenticated what? Application programming interface, which in turn gave attackers unrestricted access to the API back-end data. Practicing the best least privilege also protect organizations like OnPassive from itself, or more accurately, its own users. The users, again, are those employees. right? Overly privileged users can easily put any organization, data, or other access or asset at risk through error, through ignorance or negligence, as well as through intentional malicious act by a what? A vengeful insider. Insider. I keep telling you guys about insider threat, right? Insider threat. You know the insider threat will be an individual like you and I that knows about a company, know what is happening, then try to destroy the company. Restricting users' ability to install or run on approved application can protect the endpoint from becoming infected with what? Malware or ransomware, and in turn reduces what? The chance of it spreading throughout the organization. All right. Regularly reevaluate accounts and privileges. So if possible, it will reveal the privilege monthly or at a minimum quarterly to ensure active accounts have the minimum privilege or require revoked any access privilege and probably terminate any old or inactive account. If an account is inactive, it will be terminated. Regularly review. So if you have someone that will be reviewing, when you review, it will eliminate the privilege creep, which often occurs when departments reorganize or individuals change the rules and subject return what? The privileges they no longer need. A common non-user example is a firewall that has pages and pages of years old project-specific rules that have never been cleaned up. So we need people, they have to like hire more employees to come and perform that task, like compliance analyst. Use time privilege as much as possible without impeding an employee's ability to do their job. You grant privileges just long enough for a subject to perform a specific task, such as a user changing a password. As mentioned earlier, a manager completing performance review whenever feasible, do the same for a specific administrators to reduce the threat window. All right. As stated in the openings, although information security is a complex, multifaceted discipline, organizations like state government, financial institution, education, and health, as well as unpassive, right, should at a minimum strive to follow the basic security principles and establish the best practice. The principle of least privilege helps organization their defense by supporting CIA, which is confidential CIA threat, and reducing the attack surface, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which ultimately reduces their overall risk. So I would say it like how Queen Larato always said, if nobody told you guys this morning, afternoon, or evening that they love you, D. Benny love you guys. Thank you all for listening.
Oh, Dr. Benny, if you can see my hands, this is the resound of O Connect on behalf of every. Yeah, I see my brother Willie in the house. Yes, yes. Thank you, Dr. Benny. That was awesome, outstanding. You know, you and Dr. Derrick, you just nailed it today. And I say you nailed it because I did not know what to anticipate. Let me just grab my notes because I did not know. You never share in advance what you're going to talk about, which to me is like the mysterious aspect of your presentation when it comes to cybersecurity. And I love that about you. Thank you. We come in every Tuesday not knowing what's going to happen, and then Dr. Bennett just pops out, and before you know it, there's this awesome topic that she brings, and the principle of least privilege in cybersecurity. You know, we take things for granted, and I never do. It doesn't matter what it is. I do not take anything whatsoever it is for granted. We have been so blessed to have people who can educate us on every platform we go to about several topics, be it health, healthy eating, having healthy drinking water, potable drinking water, or taking care of our own uh, immediate family, or artificial intelligence, and in this case, cybersecurity, because there's so many aspects of it, and our faith, where we were brought up. Our faith is something. If you have faith in yourself, you have faith in humans, in mankind, that means you have faith in the universe. But if you do not have faith, then something is missing. But where we are right now in Unpassive, just listen to Dr. Benny's presentation, especially after Dr. Derrick's mindset for the day. Those 4 I ams, I do not dwell on the negative in my life. So anything that I see, I cannot, or we cannot, or you cannot, no, it's not in my vocabulary. I like to dwell with the positive aspect of life. So that being said, listening to what Dr. Derrick shared earlier with the mindset of very, very positive aspects of I am what, and he had 4 of them. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you are joining now and did not know, this is the right time for questions and discussions from Dr. Derrick's presentation of the mindset and Dr. Benny's presentation of the privilege of least, the principle of least privilege. And what Dr. Derrick had earlier, for those who missed it, there were 4 ideologies of I am. And I say I prefer to dwell with those, and I do not have any negative thing that I look into in my life. There were I am what I have, I am my physical beauty, I am my reputation, and I am what I do. That last one, I am what I do, reminds me of being a kid and they're telling me, oh, this is what you've been told in church, this is what the pastor said, this is what the priest said. And then they turn around, those people that they're referring to, the adults, the priest, the pastor, they turn around and say, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do, this is what you should do. And they say, but do what I say, not what I do. Lord, Dr. Derrick disproved that tonight. Yes, from the 4 I ams and all the scriptures that were quoted. The reason I say this is because I listen to each and every presentation and it's just down to the core. Maybe it's age. If I were under 30, like a millennial, I may dispute and say something different, but I am not a millennial. My Gen Z is killing me, believe me. She's driving me nuts. And if I share any of this, every single aspect of it is just like, hmm. So I am going to open the floor now and say this is a time for discussions, reflection on Dr. Derrick's presentation and Dr. Benny's presentation. I call them what? Double D. This is the right time for reflection and comment. So the floor is open. Whomever is available and able to start, please, by all means, go ahead. Brother Carlton, welcome. I'm opening the floor to anyone who has any observation, comment, or remark for Dr. Derrick's presentation or Dr. Bennett's presentation. Yes, our Queen Sister JW is always there.
Yeah.
Hello, JW.
Hello again. Hello again. Amazing, amazing. Well done, Queen Dr. Benny, First Lady of Unpassive. You nailed it, like Queen Debbie would say. You nailed it. And yes, that is also preparing us also within Unpassive that we will have limited access to certain things in Unpassive also, just like on our jobs. You know, when we bank online, we have limited access. We access only our account and whatever else they choose that we can be of that they know that will be of interest to us. So we will always have limited as long as it's not our own our own stuff. We have all the limit we want, we are unlimited. But when we're dealing with other people's database or data, there will be limited access. So thank you for bringing that important piece of knowledge to us, because we have to be aware of the limitations that we will have, not only outside on passive, but within on passive. So thanks so much, Dr. Benny. We appreciate you so much. Just keep on doing what you do best. We love you.
Thank you so much. I
You're
love you.
welcome.
Just like Queen Lerato said, right? If no one
Yep.
says they love you today,
Yes,
hey,
indeed.
T. Benny love each and everyone with all my
Amen.
heart, mind, and soul.
Exactly.
So with this limited access that is being given to all of us, on passive, remember that they ask us to log in, right? They're giving you that access to log in. Now, in order for you to log in, if you don't have your username and password, how will you log in? That is the access that is being given to you. And then for you to sign the non-disclosure agreement, right? Yes. So an access has to be given to us to perform our task, not only within OnPassive, but any other company all over the globe. Thank you so much, Queen JW. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Queen JW. Thank you, Dr. Benny. I just want to read a comment from Horace Malcolm regarding the presentation from Dr. Benny. So very enlightening, Queen Dr. Benny. We can be sure, or who needs to be reassured, that you are indeed very confident and a very competent person. So beautiful a presentation, as always. Congratulations, both Queen and King Doctor, meaning Dr. Benny and Dr. Derrick. So glad to have you. Truly, we are grateful. Love y'all. Thank you, Horace, and thank you, always supporting us. And we'll pass it over to anyone who wants to comment. Please, this is the right time. Brother Carlton, you have a comment? Okay, that's all right. Thank you, as always. If I don't see any other hand up, I'm going to call on DrDerrick to give his final thoughts, and then Dr. Benny her final thoughts, and we'll move it over to our sister Queen. Oh, before DrDerrick, I want to say, if you haven't noticed, on the backdrop today, you see there's an additional image. That additional image on Deep Dive today is the photo of Queen Sister Dr. Nadu. She has been with us here for over a year, working in the background, and we don't see her face, but her image and her trumpet is always there. Nadu Lawson USA is what you see in the background when she signs in to all our webinars. Be it Deep Dive or Dream Team, Julie Peer Empowering Humanity, or Malaysia, Singapore, or Niger. Oh, no, Niger hasn't been on recently. So any forum that you see her there, she always signs in as Nadu Lawson. So we welcome her with open arms, as she is and has always been part of Deep Dive. But her image is appearing on the back on the flyer. Welcome, Queen Nadu. We appreciate you. We appreciate not just you, but the time and dedication that you've taken to make this forum what it currently is. Thank you. So, DrDerrick, this is the right time for you to say we want to hear your final thoughts, and then we'll pass to Dr. Benny and then to Queen Nadu. Over to you, DrDerrick. Thank you once more.
Am I hearing? Okay. All right. Am I sounding okay? All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Zoom is working with me today. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Zoom. Really appreciate, really appreciate, really appreciate. All right. Thank you very much. Queen First Lady Dr. Benny. What a wonderful presentation. That was just awesome. Awesome. All right. Cybersecurity. And yes, definitely it is very important, especially as how we are involved in an online company. It is a brick and mortar, but the business part of it will be online. So if you are not going to be online, then don't need to listen to Queen Dr. Benny. But from once you are going to be online, if you're just checking your email or you're browsing YouTube or whatever you're doing, especially if you're going into banking online, then oh my goodness, you need to definitely feast on all of these presentation by our First Lady, Queen Dr. Benny, Dr. B. All right, wonderful. So, thank you very much, First Lady. Really appreciate, really appreciate. And yes, definitely. And we have to understand that whether you believe that there's a sky and that rain come from the cloud, it doesn't matter. When it rains, you go outside and you will get wet. So there is something named rain. And you can think of all the scientific jargons that you want to use. You know, it is said that God allow the rain to fall. And so we believe that there is a God, one God. Yes, you have other belief that there are many gods, and you can turn anything into God. Some people car and house and children and themselves is God. But we believe in one creator God, one creator God that made heaven and earth out of nothing. And that word in the Hebrew is barak, creating something out of nothing. So by faith, I believe that there is a God that is our creator, that create everything that we see, the sky, the firmament, um, the worlds, all the planets, the solar system, the galaxies, the the myriads of stars, all of these things God created. And so he loves us so much that he created us. He created us. And he loves us so much that even though we mess up, even though I mess up, he came and died for me. Now I own that. I mean, everybody have a choice, and that's the beauty about love. Love give you choice. That is what love do. So even though we take the wrong path, like the prodigal son, and go and do our own thing, but when the son realizes folly ways and return, his father greet him with love, with open arms, give him a ring, which in that culture, a ring signifies that you are back in full authority of the family. So even though the son wants to come back as a hired hand, the father wants the son to come back as a heir to the throne. So even though you and I mess up, the God of the universe created us to be heirs of his throne. But we mess up, we went our merry way, and now, unfortunately, we are living with three enemies. And so these three enemies is against us and will always be against us, even if we come back to our Father. Because the brother was jealous and was against him. Instead of the brother was happy that his lost brother returned, he was upset. And so let us recognize that people will always be upset and aggressive to those who want to do the right thing, follow the right path. But remember that every person have to give an individual account of their lives, whether it is acceptable and pleasing or it is not acceptable and not pleasing. So let us remove the biggest enemy. Start from the biggest enemy. Because the more you remove the biggest enemy, which is self, the biggest enemy, First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, it is self. Because most of the time, majority of the time, it is ourselves that is blocking our blessings. Thank you very much, Queen Debbie, and over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Derrick. Oh my goodness. Those three enemies of devil, world, and self. We do have it or we do not. We choose to accept and we choose not to. That's up to every individual, as you rightfully say. And I do recall the saying that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever, it doesn't mean everybody, whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I'm not going to go anywhere beyond that. I will end it there. And thank you once more, Dr. Derrick. And now move over to Dr. Benny. Please, sis, thank you for your awesome presentation. Give us your final thoughts.
Certainly. As we talked about, I talked about CISA, which is Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency, recommends using least privilege as what? As a cybersecurity best practice by allowing users like employees, right? Employees from any other organization, like on passive, or you and I, only the minimum level of permission or access needed. Privileged access to high value data and critical access is protected. So it goes beyond just human users and also applies to connected devices, the system or applications requesting access to complete the task as well. For the best security practice, system privileges should only be granted to those who require them, right? If you don't require or any of the system, access cannot be given. Now, a minimum access policy ensures, as you all know, policies has been written to every company that you and I have to follow. So the minimum access policy ensures that users have the lowest level of privileges to complete necessary functions. So one of the biggest advantage to least privilege strategy is the ability to lower the risk exposure to cyber attacks and minimize any potential damage and infiltration can cause. With the principle of privilege, least privilege, there will be fewer users with administrators access, which can make it what? Harder for threat actors. As you know, the threat actors are what? Those hackers out there to expose and exploit the vulnerability. As I always talk about a vulnerability, which is what? A weakness in any organization, right? Within the system. Even if they lower the level, users' credentials are compromised. The bad actors will only have a limit range within the system, as the majority users do not have full access. So this can reduce the potential scope for a cyber attack and help to neutralize them more quickly. A minimum access policy can help to stabilize any of our systems or any system within the organization to enhance what? The functionality and increases, which will increase the workplace productivity. The principle of least privilege is an important cybersecurity strategy. It is very important that the least privilege to be balanced with the usability as well. Overall, the principle of least privilege should be a frictionless for the need or the end users as possible while still maintaining what? A secure environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Wow, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Benny. We appreciate all you do. And that was just an outstanding presentation you and Dr. Derrick did today. So I take my hat off to both of you. I appreciate you so much, Dr. Derrick. I appreciate you so much, Dr. Benny. And okay. Yes, Sister Doris, please proceed. I see your hand is up. Go ahead, and then we're going to move forward after you. You can unmute yourself. Hello?
She has.
Okay. Yeah, she's not muted, so she can proceed. Hello? Queen Sister Doris. Okay, maybe she's not able to speak now. I want to take this opportunity to thank all our viewers who have been following us on YouTube on a regular basis every Tuesday and Thursday. Deep Dive is the right forum to be. And if you are not coming here regularly, guess what? You're missing out on something very special. So we call on you to join us on this platform every Tuesday and Thursday at the same time. And we have sister platforms that we work with. On Mondays, we have Miriam Edwards with Mindset Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We come back here, and on Wednesdays we have Empowering Humanity by Julie Pierre. On Thursday mornings, before we come back to Deep Dive, we have Malaysia, Singapore, Old Passion. And on Sundays, we have the Dream Team at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. These are all the lovely platforms that we all work together and support one another and educate every Unpassivian who wants to understand what is going on in our Unpassive journey. So please do not hesitate to join us on any of these mentioned webinars and all other webinars that you feel you can go to and get your education on. So at this point of the webinar, we're going to pause here with our regular recording. Thank you to our YouTube viewers, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now as we start the next segment of the webinar with Queen Nadu, Queen Sister Nadu, and Bishop. Bishop is in the house today, Bishop Harold, and they'll be taking the after party, which is where we join to do several things that we cannot do on a regular basis. But most importantly, appreciate one another's God-given talent, because some people go there, they either recite a poem or they just comment on something just to unleash and have some fun, and also sing for those who are vocally inclined. Yes, Sister Dr. Benny.
Yes, Dr. Doris, she said that she was speaking to us, but we couldn't hear her. But she said she just wanted to thank Dr. Derrick and, well, the First Lady, Queen, for their presentation. Thank you.
Thank you too, sis. I appreciate that. So we appreciate everyone who is here with us. And we have 23 of us. Everyone who is currently here with us, we thank you. Thank you, Queen Evelyn Jenkins. I'll talk to you again very soon. I'll call you in the next couple of days. So Queen Dr. Nadu is on the roll. Everyone, put on your dancing shoes.